I'm Heather for PrettyTough.com. We are here to see history in the making as Birmingham High School plays San Marcos varsity baseball, where both starting pitchers are females. Marti Sementelli starts for Birmingham High School. Ghazaleh Sailors starts for San Marcos. Both play on the national team together, work with their coaches to bring this game together, make it happen so it can be the first time two female starting pitchers take off against each other in men's varsity baseball.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Help each other out. Let's go, Boo-Boo. Come on. Leave it. Guys, please.
We have a freshman from the Birmingham softball team with us. What's your name?
Alexis.
Alexis, how inspirational right now is it to see a girl that you go to high school with, Marti, be the first woman to ever pitch against another female player in a varsity baseball game?
It feels really good. Like, it shows what kind of respect she has for her team and everything that she does. Like, she's really good. And she's like, pretty much she's better than like a lot of the guys on the team that I think. And it's just, she makes other people want to try out for like boy sports. Like, doesn't show that just guys can play by themselves. Like, that girls can come in and play with the guys. Like, when they say that a female can't take a male's place, they can, because she's like, that's what she's doing. She's doing really good.
All right. You just throw strikes on. You just throw strikes. We'll take care of the rest. Nice pitch. Oh, nice pitch, kid. Woo. Work down, work down. Get your way, Sean. King.
Cami, what do you think this game really means for women's sports as a whole?
Well, just the fact that you've got this kind of turnout, this kind of media interest in the fact that it happens to be two women pitchers that are starting for the first time ever a high school baseball game. You know, I'd almost expect there to be some kind of weird protests going on, because baseball's so male dominated, and it's like the last one other than ski jumping for women to break into. And so for these coaches and these high schools to say, yeah, let's promote it, let's let people know what's happening, and have this kind of turnout, and they're doing an awesome job. I mean, they're striking out the guys, they're getting outs. That's what pitchers are supposed to do, is get an out. And for the coaches to have faith in the players that these girls can be starters is pretty exciting.
Yeah. How do you think it changes the chemistry on the team when it's all guys and you got one girl in there and it's a leading role like a pitcher?
Well, I mean, the starting pitcher runs the game. And in order for the dynamic on the team to work, the other players have to respect that. And I think at this level, they're fine with it. They really are. I haven't actually run into any situations where the players were the impediment. It's usually the parents of the players that are upset about what's going on, which is really strange. And it's usually the mothers of the sons that don't want the girls on the team. So I'm like, if we're not even supporting our own selves, then how are we expecting anyone else to support us?
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as the players go, they're like, she can do the game. She can get it done. Then, I mean, they're obviously some of the best pitchers that there are, and pitchers are hard to find.
Yeah, well, what do you think sets these girls apart as pitchers from the boy players right now?
I actually don't see, you really don't see much of a difference other than the fact that they're both a little shorter in stature. And usually a pitcher, to compete in college or in the major leagues, they're big guys. I mean, these guys are 6'5" and 220 or 250, and because they don't have to run, they don't have to bat, in the American League. So that's the only difference, is that you don't have the velocity maybe, and so they have to be smarter pitchers. They have to paint the corners. They have to be crafty. They have a bunch of different pitches. Marti has 5 legitimate pitches. She can throw a curve. She's been throwing since she was 3 years old. Every day. Every day. I talk to her dad. He's like, that's what we do. We throw baseballs. So when it comes to a pressure situation like this, it's no big deal, because you've been doing it every day. And that's really what any athlete's going to need to do, to have that kind of discipline. But a female athlete that's trying to break through, that's really, where it's at.
I'm here with Marti Sementelli after an amazing performance. March is Women's History Month. How do you feel knowing you just made baseball history for women?
It's an honor. I mean, especially to, be really young and set like this big record for, girls and in the nation. And other countries will eventually, this will pour out to them too, and they'll see all this too.
How is your mindset after a game like today?
I'm still putting it together and kind of in shock that, everything has happened. But they're all good thoughts, and I'm so glad that, my performance, because I was really nervous going into this game. I didn't know what I was going to expect. I was excited for this all week. And then, I kind of got shaky in the first inning and then kind of settled down and got out with a big win.
Knowing that your father has been a pretty big role model for you, who are some other people that have made a big impact on your career so far?
I got to give all the coaches that I've had in the past, a pat on the back because, they've let me play on their team and be a part of baseball and not shut me down like other girls have. So to all my coaches out there that have let me play or, put on a uniform, step on that field, thank you so much.
Obviously, it can be complicated sometimes having your father as a coach, as a mentor. What have been some of the best parts and some of the worst parts of that?
We started really small, like in the house, before I could walk. And, I had no idea this would turn out to be like this. And I've just taken it year after year after year after year till now. And he's been with me all the time, throughout the whole way. He's taught me everything that I know. And I thank him for everything. There are those good and bad days, and can't stand him half the time when he talks about baseball because, I get sick of him. But when other coaches, talk, I'm like, yes. But, it's my dad, and he's going to always be like that.
How far into the future do you want to play baseball? What are you thinking? College plans even outside of baseball?
I never really looked at it until this past summer that, throughout the whole years, I was like, I still have time to figure it out. I got next year. I'm a junior, blah, blah. But, this year hit me, and boy, did my senior year fly by. It was 3 months away from graduating, and I've been working on, what college I was going to go to for months and months since this past summer, and it still hasn't, I'm not done searching. Everything's not set in stone yet, but I'm going to, for sure, 100%, I'll put that on the record that I'm going to be playing in college ball next year, and who knows after that. Don't know. Take like I do, one step at a time, year to year.
Absolutely. How for you did you stick with baseball instead of like so many female athletes do, instead of converging over to softball?
I'd never thought about playing softball. Another thing is, I never even realized that we had softball leagues. I just always thought it was baseball. Softball, I never even heard of it since I was, in high school. Are you going to play softball? What is that? I know, but, I only see it on, TV, and, I've never seen a softball game, ever. So, I don't know how I would switch over if you mean not knowing anything. There's different rules, different everything. Pitching wise, I would never be able to be a pitcher. And I give props to the girls that can pitch like that because that's a talent that I don't have. So.
Yeah, specifically, what are the strongest parts of your game about baseball that works so well for you as a baseball player rather than as a softball player?
I think right now for me is my height and my weight that pitching is really only spot that I can really be effective. I'm not going to hit a ball over the fence. I'm not gonna, have the best, strongest arm from left or center field. That's just not me. So pitching, you can get away with that and chip away, and use pitches like breaking balls like I do, and it can work out and you can be effective. And today that worked.
I'm here with Ghazaleh Sailors, and how do you feel right now coming off such a historic game?
I feel it's great. It's an honor to be able to do this, and that people, would let this happen. And, it's just amazing, all the things that I have had to go through in my baseball career. And then a day like today, if you told me this was going to happen like a year or two ago, I would have laughed. But it's amazing to see things that can turn 180 degrees.
What kind of games in your past have prepared you for games like today?
Definitely when I was on Team USA, Marty and I were teammates on Team USA, and we were in Venezuela, and I remember I made my debut. I was a rookie this year on Team USA, and I came in to pitch against Japan, and the stands, there's 12,000 people in the stands, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I was really nervous. And then just playing every single game, and playing against Venezuela when there was 20,000 people in the stands, and then Australia, the same thing. So it really helped being able to handle all the media and all the pressure. But the big thing is perspective. And this isn't about who wins, who loses. This is a win-win situation because this is the first time this is going to happen, and I hope that, 10 or 15 years from now, this makes a huge difference in the future of women in baseball.
What motivated you growing up to stick with baseball instead of like so many other girls do and switch to softball?
When I grew up, I admired Jackie Robinson, and at a very young age, maybe 5 or 6, and I said, I'm going to play baseball. And people would come up to me and say, by the time you're 10, you have to switch. If you want to play in college, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to play baseball, and I think I'm good enough to play baseball, and this is what I'm going to do. So, I'm fortunate enough that I'm going to play college baseball next year, and I committed, and it's something that no one ever thought would happen, and it's amazing that I have the opportunity, to do this.
And which school are you committed at?
It's a dual affiliate with the NCAA and the NAIA. It's the University of Maine at Presque Isle.
And how are you looking forward to that, and how do you think that's going to change from high school baseball?
The high school, college, whatever, it's just a game. It's just baseball. You can put varsity, JV, frosh off, whatever. It's baseball. It's, you still got to get your 3 outs. You still get 3 strikes. You still have a bat, you still have a glove, you still have a ball. It's just baseball. So.
And what do you hope after games like today? What kind of an inspiration do you hope you are for young girls growing up that want to play baseball?
I hope that there's girls out there that are being pressured to switch to other sports, that play baseball and are being told you can't play, you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere in your life with baseball. And I hope that they see what happened on the mound today with Marty and I hope that it does make a difference and they choose to stick it out. And maybe even one day you'll see high school girl baseball teams. Maybe one day we'll see that in our lifetime. And I hope that when I hang up my shoes, which hopefully isn't for a long time, that because of the efforts, that Marty and I have done, that there are opportunities out there that are better than the opportunities I've had for women in baseball.
We've just finished up a historic game here where Birmingham High School beat San Marcos 6-1. Both Marti and Ghazaleh played amazing games. At one point, they came up against each other, Marti pitching, Ghazaleh hitting. Very exciting. Marti finished the whole game pitching, played it great. Now we just look forward to seeing what's next for these athletes, how they're going to move on, hopefully college plans. But we do know one thing, history was made here today. Fine athletes, 2 fine teams. And again, I'm Heather with PrettyTough.com.